what's up, movie fans? I'm sure you're all wondering what I think of the new Jurassic Park movie now that it's been out for more than a week and it's grossed a godly amount of money. Jurassic Park 4. Oh wait, I'm sorry, not Jurassic Park 4. Jurassic World. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's not technically called Jurassic Park 4, even though it is the fourth film in the franchise. More or less seems like a more standalone sequel and reboot, which is pretty much what it is. And this movie obviously has been in production hell for God only knows how many years. I mean, it's been, what, more than 10 years since the last one, the third movie to be exact? So, before I get to it, a little quick recap. Yes, the first movie was, anybody can agree with me on this one, a masterpiece. A groundbreaking masterpiece directed by the one and only Steven Spielberg, which obviously followed or I should say two average sequels. People can argue all they want which one is better, The Lost World or Jurassic Park 3. None of them are as good as the first one, so enough said on that one. The second one suffers from, boring human characters, but the dinosaurs, on the other hand, are awesome. The special effects are really good, but yeah, it's not as good as the first one, The Lost World to be exact. And the third one, you can complain it doesn't really have much of a plot to it, but it does have a lot of dinosaurs, but occasionally some of the CG and animatronic effects are a little unbalanced, and some people didn't like the fact that the T-Rex got killed off too soon, so yeah, I know there's going to be some spoilers in this review, so just keep in mind you may not want to watch this video. I'm going to probably spill a lot out of this, and it's tough to really explain a lot without actually spoiling anything, so just keep alert on that one. Otherwise, you might not want to watch the rest of this video. Otherwise, I'm assuming you either don't care about being spoiled or you've probably seen the movie already. So anyway, now that the fourth film is out, it's called Jurassic World. It's like a new beginning, practically. I think it was a very welcome addition to this series. I didn't really know what to expect. I had mixed opinions on it when I saw the first trailer. I was like, wow. I didn't think much of it. It looked a lot like a lot of CG was going to be used in this, like it is in any movie. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's got to be used in the right balanced way. It's got to, be used in the right way to look good. I mean, looks are good, but you do got to, you've got to have good actors, which this movie had some good acting. I mean, Chris Pratt, obviously, who played Star-Lord in Guardians of the Galaxy, which was a big surprise hit last year, he's a lot of fun in this movie, I'm not going to lie. He's really good, and, I thought at first the raptor training idea was a little bit far-fetched, but I don't think it really bothered me too much. I mean, it was a good idea, and if you watch the movie, you'd understand what I mean. Bruce Dallas Howard was the typical, she's obviously the aunt of these two kids. Sometimes the kids are rather annoying in these kind of films. They're always screaming a lot. This film, they were okay for some parts. I mean, it's obviously her two nephews that go to visit around the holidays. And I thought when they get to the island, I mean, the parents were a little bit, I don't know, their acting performances, even though they were more brief, was a little bit over the top, a little silly. And there's some spots in this film you can argue are not fully believable. And the only returning actor in this movie from any of the original Jurassic Park movies being that there's no Jeff Goldblum, no Sam Neill, no Laura Dern, none of them, except for that Asian guy from the Egg Hatchery in the first movie. He's the only, may I repeat, the only returning actor from any of the original Jurassic Park movies. So, with that said, everybody else is new in this film. So, would I say that really bothered me? Not really. I mean, I expected a lot worse. So, I think when they get to the island and everything, because this time around, unlike the first three films where it's just a few people checking out the island or either getting, shipwrecked on the island and getting chased by dinosaurs, this time it's open to public, to pretty much everybody. So, of course, it's the typical scenario, like in the first movie, what comes up must come down. With everything seeming nice, and it's like, wow, the gates open up. That was a very welcome addition to this movie, and I liked it. It was a nice feel to it, and it was like revisiting my childhood and from watching the first movie, and it did pay homages to the original first movie, which is a nice touch, I will say. You got the guy wearing the t-shirt that works in the surveillance system area. And of course, they got the kids stumbling upon the original, like, deserted site from the first movie of Jurassic Park and the old Jeeps and everything, even though they're like, no, we're not calling it Jurassic Park, it's called specifically Jurassic World. And yeah, it's just a lot of scenes trying to make you go like, wow, it's really awesome. Like, you got the big giant fish dinosaur, and you got the T-Rex, and it's like the kid's all excited. That's what these films make you feel like. Like watching the first movie, when I first watched it, anybody can agree with me. Anybody can share this experience. It was groundbreaking. It makes you feel like a kid inside again. I mean, that's what it's like. It's just a lot of, like, wow, everything looks big type of scene. And that's what this film sort of did to me. It was like time never passed, you know? I mean, it didn't exactly have the full feel of the first movie, but it came very close. I will say it was better than 2 and 3, but still not as good as number 1. So, yeah, you could say I had the right expectations, you know, being that I didn't expect this to be as good as the first one, but that's fine, because it wasn't. Anybody can agree with me on that one, but it was still exciting. I mean, there's a lot of off-the-edge-of-your-seat moments, and yeah, and the story you should probably know is about, you know, it's all about keeping up and keeping the park alive and well and keeping attendance going up, because they obviously are trying to build something new, and they do, and which is a hybrid dinosaur, Indominus Rex to be exact, and it pretty much runs amongst the park and, well, pretty much goes on a killing spree. I like the ideas that they try to use, but then there were some cliche moments in the film that you probably noticed, like, I mean, there are some revisitings, like I said, of the first movie, like you got, instead of the T-Rex, you got the Indominus Rex doing like the same eye stare on the kids when they're inside of that, like, the biosphere thing when they're on the field. And, of course, you got your typical, like, character that he's, you know, you got that army guy, and he's like, I want to use these raptors, you know, as weapons to fight a war, because I know a war's coming, and I'm like, yeah, okay, he's going to die. Pretty obvious. Major spoiler right there, if you can consider that one. And yeah, the Raptors were cool. I mean, they looked a lot better than they did in the third one. They didn't have the feathers this time around. Can I say I was disappointed that the Spinosaurus didn't come back? Not really, but everybody can agree with me. They are glad that the T-Rex is back, and the last scene, like, with the T-Rex at the very end, I think that was a very good way to end that movie, that he's the king. He's the king of the whole Jurassic Park, the whole prehistorical area. I mean, anybody can agree with me on that one. It just was a pretty awesome fight at the end. So, I'd say overall it was a pretty more than satisfying experience, and I guess I was a little bit disappointed that John Williams did not do the music in this movie. I mean, his theme to the movie was an extra nice touch to all 3 movies, in fact. So, but I know, and that's what anybody was probably looking forward to at the end credits. And this time around, it was the same musician that actually did the soundtrack for pretty much every J.J. Abrams movie, like Super 8 and Star Trek, which was really good, I mean. But in this film, it did, you know, it did match some of the vocals, not really vocals, but the key notes to the John Williams music. You know, occasionally when you see the old paid homages to the first Jurassic Park movie, but I felt like they could have included the exact theme. You know, they could have copied it at the end credits, and that would have added a nice touch and same feel like I had when I watched the end of the first movie, because the end credits, it had an incredible soundtrack score. But overall, I can't say I was thoroughly disappointed with this movie. It was a really exciting film. I definitely go see it. Yeah, it was really good, but I still, once again, I wouldn't say it's as good as the first, but I'd say, once again, it was definitely better than Lost World and Jurassic Park 3. A nice welcome addition. Overall, yeah, I would go check it out. It's well worth it. And IMAX 3D, yeah, good for sound effects, but, yeah, no in-your-face 3D, just like when they released Jurassic Park 1 in IMAX 3D, but it's really good. Trust me, it's a well worth visit to the park, even though it turns out to be a disaster, but hey, that's like anything else in this movies in these series. So my final verdict is a Rockin' Wii Remote Wii Motion Plus and just a plain Wii Remote up. I think that's fair. So, till next time, keep watching.